What we do here is go back.
Abraham Lincoln was famously quoted saying that the greatest movie ever made will involve a fat mall cop fighting crime on a Segway. 200 years later, his vision was fully realized in the cinematic masterpiece that is known as Paul Blart Mall Cop. Now you're probably thinking, but Jackson, how could Paul Blart Mall Cop be the greatest movie ever made when it has a 34% on Rotten Tomatoes? Well, obviously, you Paul Blart Deniers have been brainwashed by the government into not being able to see the genius of the film. And only Paul Blart Stans, like myself, can see through the propaganda. Comment below if you're a Paul Blart Stan. I know I'm not the only one out there. And to the Paul Blart Deniers out there, here is why Paul Blart Mall Cop is a cinematic masterpiece. First of all, the story is just absolutely brilliant. Spoiler warning if you haven't watched it. Alright, I've warned you. 3, 2, 1, go. At the beginning of the movie, we see Paul Blart doing what he loves, protecting the mall and helping others. He then falls in love with a girl named Amy, and the two hit it off. They really do. But unfortunately, after some mishaps,
I believe in magic!
she loses feelings for him, and Paul is left alone and sad. He also gets bullied by this utter douchebag, which really makes Paul feel bad about himself. Paul is at the lowest point of his life, and you gotta feel bad for the guy. But then, being the absolute king he is, he makes the ultimate comeback. Some scared dudes decide to rob the mall, and it's up to Paul to rescue his love of his life and his daughter, who's also there for some reason. He beats off each of the crooks and rescues all the hostages, but the main bad guy gets away with Amy and Paul's daughter, and Paul and his former bully, the SWAT guy, have to rescue them. Paul defeats the main guy, but what? Plot twist, the SWAT guy is the main bad guy, and he's gonna kill Paul. Just when you think it's all over for Paul, his old guy boss comes in and saves the day. He then gives Amy a fat smooch and the credits roll. The movie is just action-packed, and honestly, it's just a brilliant movie overall. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, and not many movies make me do that. Honestly, 10 out of 10, great story. However, the movie would not be the same without the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Blart. I mean, don't get me wrong, just because saying that Paul Blart is the star of the show doesn't mean that the other characters are bad. I really do like Pahood. He's the ex-girlfriend of the phone that was given to Paul by one of his friends, and he's honestly just a great comic relief character, and he's honestly one of the most hilarious things in the movie.
Yellow.
Peanut, Blart, and jelly. What's up, man? So good to hear your voice.
Yeah, it's good to hear your voice too, Pahood. Listen, I'm gonna have to call you back.
What? When?
I don't know when. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, Paul, call me back. Call me back, Paul.
However, Paul Blart is honestly the star of the show, and without him, the movie would just not be as successful as it was. Paul Blart's character is an extremely relatable one, and you really do feel bad for him. Paul Blart is the ultimate underdog story. He's an unappreciated hero who is bullied and cannot find love in his life. You see him make epic fails, get drunk, and get his heart broken, and you really do feel bad for the guy. Like, honestly, I just felt awful for him. He then gets the ultimate redemption by saving them all, beating his bullies, and getting the girl. His story is the Reddit user's ultimate dream. And that makes his story so relatable, and you root for him to win, honestly, and it makes the story so much more engaging to watch. Kevin James really just put his soul and heart into this movie, and without his portrayal of Blart, I don't believe this movie would be as good as it was. The movie itself is just very well put together, and is honestly hilarious. The jokes always seem to land, and they're never unfunny. The cinematography is great, and the action is heart-racing. And the moral of the story is, even if you have a mustache, you can do whatever you want to do. And I mean, what else is there to say about this movie. It's just a great movie overall, and I highly recommend it to anyone. If I haven't convinced Paul Blart Deniers that us Paul Blart Stans are superior and that they should join us, I recommend you to do this. Look in the comment section of this video. Look at all of the Paul Blart Stans and notice there is not a single one criticizing this fantastic movie, and they're only expressing their love for it. If it was really that bad, if Paul Blart Mall Cop was really a bad movie, do you really think people would love that movie so much if it was a bad movie? I don't think so. We are Paul Blart Stans, and we will never stop defending our Paul Blart, the Paul Blart who brought us joy and laughter into our lives. Paul Blart Mall Cop is the greatest movie ever made, period. Okay, well that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, or else you're a Paul Blart Denier.